Welcome to the Startup Grind.
So initially you couldn't find your fitness and you were doing Zumba and dance and you couldn't find your clothes. So you start importing the clothes from South Africa and Asia. Mm-hmm. And then you flip and say, I'm going to make this stuff. I'm going to make clothes for daily use here. Mm-hmm. That day, take us through the day.
Okay, so it wasn't a day. That was 2 years.
No, but the day that you were like,
that was a long day.
Yeah, but the day you were like, I'm going to do it. You know,
okay,
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, okay, so it wasn't
the day
like
you jumped.
that. Yeah, so I started with a girlfriend of mine. We co-founded it together. So the initial thought, like many people, was, we'll just go online. Why, you don't need to invest. Who has the money to start looking at long-term leases and all of that stuff? So literally, we started importing product and selling it from home. I was selling it from my house. And then I realized that actually, I don't know that many people. And I don't know that I want lots of people I don't know to come to my house. This is my children's home. You get through a lot of questions and then realize that we're actually never going to be able to reach the number of people we would need to make it a viable business just online. At least that's how we felt. I think there are businesses that are doing it just online and they're making it, but we didn't understand online well enough. Okay. And so then we decided, well, we need a place. And I live quite close to Valley Arcade, and so the junction at that point was expanding. They were opening their second wing. And literally, we just walked into the management office and said, hi, do you have a space? We want to open a shop that sells dance and fitness. And they're like, oh, really? That sounds interesting. No one else is doing that. Tell us more. And then they said, okay, why don't you send us your business plan? And, there's one shop that we still haven't allocated. So if you can come back to us quickly, maybe you can get it. And we're like, okay, great.
We'll bring
I think it was a Friday. We're like, by Monday. So we go home and literally we Google, download a template for a business plan, start filling in numbers, like no idea, right? And take it back to them. Actually, I think we said, how much is the rent of that space? And they said it was 150 or whatever. I can't remember exactly, 120,000 shillings. So we're like, okay, let's work backwards. Like, how much do we have to sell to be able to cover that cost? Yeah. And that became the business plan. That became the budget. And then we added a little just to make it think, whatever. And then we realized that to sell that much, we can't only sell dance. Like, we're going to have to sell something that anybody could buy. So why don't we do clothing at the same time? And so we added clothing to the mix. And they offered us the space. And it was only like a year later or something that I met somebody and they said they had been on the waiting list for 2 years for a space at Junction and they hadn't gotten one. Okay. So I always think, there's preparation and there's also just luck. Like half the time it's just you were in the right place at the right time. The guy you met was in a good mood.
And you were saying the right thing.
We looked kind of cute. Something, I don't know, the stars aligned. And we jumped at the opportunity. And it could have, if we had gone the week before or the week later, maybe we wouldn't have gotten it.
So if you had done a business proposal, let's, for example,
I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, so we opened Junction.
And you're still in the same space.
And we expanded it, but yeah, we had the same. So the first day I remember, like, I've never done sales or anything like that. So I stood in the store and people were giving me money. I felt like I was playing Monopoly. Like I was arranging 150 shilling, 100. Like that was the most fun, like putting piles. And money, it was like people were really buying. Like, and I think we sold like 18,000 that day. Like the first day we opened.
18,000 the first
day.
Wow, yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well,
No, I mean seriously, because as you said, you can't prepare for that.
Yeah.
You can't do a plan
So
for
to
that.
get back to the day,
yes,
you keep asking for the day. So there's no day. That's day one of opening Junction and many days. And then at some point we realized, kumbe, it's clothing that people want. They didn't the dance stuff was just, it was just nice to have. Like it made us look unique, but it actually wasn't what was selling. So we started focusing more on the clothing and then listening to what people were saying, and they kept saying, you know, we really like your stuff, but you don't have my size, you don't have the color I want, the other shop has the same thing. So we were getting this feedback, and then this was 2 years into the business, we realized that if we were going to take it seriously and expand, we'd have to cater to a wider range.
Right.
And at that point, I really had no intention of ever making our own. We were starting to look for, like, how can we get somebody else to make for us? Or how can we order ready-made stuff, but that has a wider range? And we just couldn't find it.
At all.
No, so sometimes you change because of necessity, not
Right.
because it was part of the plan.